Hello and welcome back to this Library of Ruina series. In this video, we'll be taking on the second ensemble member, Eileen. This fight is rather easy, so there aren't really any key pages that are required. However, I'd recommend putting on at least one strong page. I used Olivier and Harold for their All for Hana passive, Gloria for her mass attack, then Hubert and Boris for the same reason I used Esther in the Philip fight. All of their decks are basically identical, as generic singleton with 3 light regen, unlock, and their exclusive pages, that is, True Triumphation for Olivier and Harold, Eradication for Gloria, Decapitation for Hubert, and Discipline for Boris. For passives, Harold and Olivier got Fervor, Grace of the Prescript, and a Holler, Gloria got a Holler and some random power boosters, Hubert got Fervor, Grace of the Prescript, and some other random passives, and Boris got Fervor and the percent chance on hit passives for a fun Casino Boris build. For Abnormality pages, I like Repetitive Pattern Recognition and Violence for Tier 1 pages, Recharge and Clean for Tier 2 pages, and Dark Flame for Tier 3. If you put the strongest on someone, then you'll probably want Chained Wrath and Clean on them. For Ego pages, take Solemn Lament and Grander Mark 5-2, and the last one doesn't particularly matter. Now for the fight itself. Eileen has 500 HP, 500 stagger, is injured to all damage and immune to all stagger damage, and has 8 passives. Nuovo Fabric, Thought Gear Target, which makes Eileen attack the librarian that attacked her last on the previous scene. Thought Gear Predict, which gives her a 5-10 evade die added to her dice queue. Meat Gear Production, which spawns gear worshippers for every worshipper killed when transitioning between phases. Meat Gear Demise, which makes her use a special page this scene after a worshipper dies. Meat Gear Roll, which makes her take 125 stagger damage whenever a gear worshipper is killed. Zeal of the Believers, which recovers the HP and stagger of worshippers that survive phase transitions, and Faith of the Believers, which dictates the phases for the fight. The first phase is while she's above 350 HP, the second above 150, and the third while she's still alive. Her HP will not drop below the thresholds until a phase transition. For most of the fight, she'll be using 3 pages. Thought Gear Preach is a 6-11 blunt range page with a 5-9 blunt counter die. In the early stages of the fight, you'll probably want to tank this with a block die, but later your augury kicks can beat it handily. Thought Gear Propagate rolls 5-9 blunt and has a 4-10 slash counter die. This page you can beat a bit more reliably with your 3-cost bombs, but it's still somewhat difficult. Finally, Thought Gear Accelerate rolls 4-9 evade. You'll basically never clash into this, as you generally don't want to be attacking Eileen. Instead, you'll be spending most of your time attacking the 4 gear worshippers. They have 105 HP, 60 stagger, are blunt stagger injured, and have 5 passives: Puffy Broom, Internal Combustion Engine, Meat Gear, Thought Gear, and Stimulating Fumes. They'll be using 1 of 5 pages. Guidance of the Gears is their light regeneration and can be beaten with almost anything. Autonomous Rush rolls 5-9 slash 3-7 pierce and will give the user a bit of smoke and flood a bit of smoke if the slash die hits. This page can be beaten with your 3-cost bombs, and when you get some emotion levels and strength, your 2-cost pages as well. Notably, since most of the power is on 1, Will of the City clashes into it somewhat nicely. Assault Order rolls 4-6 evade, 4-8 pierce, 3-8 slash, but if the target has 2 or more smoke, the offensive dice gain 1 power. This page doesn't roll too high, so you should be able to beat it with your 3-cost bombs or 2-cost value pages. Will of the Prescript does well here because it normally doesn't clash well. Defense Order rolls 7-10 block, 4-8 slash, and gives a bit of smoke to the worshipper on use. This page rolls somewhat high on 1, so you might want to use a block or evade on 1 to not lose out on damage. Alternatively, Augury Kick has a decent shot at beating that block die, but if you lose, you won't get the strength. Finally, Vapor rolls 9-19 slash and has some smoke infliction and gain. This page is most likely just going to get absorbed with a block die for the entire reception. The idea here is to spread your damage out between the 4 worshippers and try to kill them all in the same scene, as when you kill a worshipper, Eileen will cast a set of new pages. The main one you need to worry about is Thought Gear Brainwash, which is a mass summation rolling 5-10, 14-20, with the second die immobilizing anyone hit by it. This mass isn't too threatening, as 14-20 is quite a low range, being fairly consistently beaten out by Fiery Dragon Slash or Will of the Prescript. She'll also be casting Meat Gear Enhance, which rolls 4-10, 4-7 block and gives 2 strength to allied worshippers next scene on use. Meat Gear Inspire rolls 5-11 evade and recovers 10 HP to allied worshippers on use. Finally, Meat Gear Rev Up rolls 4-9 block, 4-7 evade, and gives 2 haste to allied worshippers next scene. If you accidentally left a couple of the worshippers alive, then keep the 10 HP from Meat Gear Inspire in mind because you might end up missing again if you target with something like Grace de Grace. A couple things to note about this section is that you can cancel the mass attack by killing the remaining worshippers with mass attacks before Eileen can cast hers, but note that when she does recover from Stagger, she'll cast Dog Ear Brainwash again. The phases are all identical, but once you get some emotion levels, you can use mass attacks to shave scenes off of killing the worshippers, and use Solemn Lament to shred Eileen's HP once she gets staggered. After beating Eileen, you'll get access to her Keypage and a new combat page. Her page has 97 HP, 59 stagger, is blunt injured, and has 6 passives: Speed 3, Nouveau Fabric, Puffy Broom, Meat Gear, Thought Gear, and Masterful Smoker, which gives all dice 1 power if the page involves smoke. This obviously leads us to wanting to be a smoke deck, and the combat page we get, Ever Spinning Gear Wheel, attests to that. This 4 cost rolls 7-10, 7-10 slash, 4-5 block. Additionally, the user gains 7 smoke on use, and the slashes inflict 4 and 3 smoke on hit respectively. This is the best smoke enabler in the game, almost immediately getting the user and the target to max smoke. I built my Eileen deck like this: 3 Guidance of the Gears with 1 Will of Lucidity for light regen, as this is a very light heavy deck, then 2 Loss of Senses for page draw, and 3 Ever Spinning Gear Wheel. This deck is self-sufficient, but works best with additional smoke decks. For passives, I put on Fervor, but you could use any 4 or 5 cost power booster. 4 Trograms to help with our utility early game while also providing power boosts when needed, and City Thwack because dealing double stagger damage sounds pretty good to me. In the next video, we'll be taking on the next ensemble member, Greta. I'll see you soon, and as always, thank you for watching.